16 points. I think the two guys that have really helped turn this defense around, they're two newcomers, John Mobley, the #1 draft pick linebacker, and Bill Romanowski, the free agent from Philadelphia. He has played sensationally.
Well, as good as the Denver start has been, it's been that frustrating for Tampa Bay. Yet again, they start off 0-2. They have a new coach in Tony Dungy, and he comes in with a well-deserved reputation for his defensive abilities.
Well, this is a good defense, a good young defense that has a chance to be a very good defense, and the 0-2 start is not because of their defensive play. The offensive team has not performed. They've put them in way too many poor positions, and I think, you know, two things are going to happen tonight if Tampa Bay is going to win this game. That defense under Tony Dungy is going to have to create 2 or 3 turnovers. Dungy's defense has always done that. And I think the other thing for them to have a chance is for them to play great special teams. And if they can do those two things, Tampa has a chance. Otherwise, Denver's the clear favorite.
And, Pat, they are in desperate need of improved play from their quarterback, Trent Dilfer.
You know, most times when you see a quarterback who is struggling, and indeed Trent Dilfer is struggling, he's shell-shocked. He's lost his confidence and really doesn't know where to turn. But when you talk to Trent Dilfer, this is a very confident young man in spite of the circumstances that he found himself last year, and it continues this year. And he's convinced that he's going to get it turned around. Now, I think when you're struggling as a quarterback, the thing that helps you most is a very good running game and using your tight end. And those are two things he's going to have to do tonight.
And his coach at the age of 40, getting his first shot as a head coach in the National Football League. 15 years an assistant, most recently as the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, where they had 95 interceptions during his time there. They do create turnovers. And the opposite side of the ledger is Mike Shanahan, known for his offensive brilliance. Denver won the toss. Vaughn Hebron is back to return, and he grabs it a yard deep. Hebron out to the 20-yard line, and from that point, John Elway and the Broncos will put the ball in play. Thus far in the season, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times last week. Broderick Thompson, the right tackle, was nicked in the first half, couldn't go in the second. Reggie McElroy came on, and they couldn't handle Mike Sinclair of the Seattle Seahawks. McCaffrey opens at one wide receiver, Anthony Miller at the other. Terrell Davis, Aaron Craver in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 20. Elway with good protection across the middle to Shannon Sharp, and they pick up a quick 6. And let's check the backs and receivers to confirm those who are in the starting lineup. Miller and McCaffrey at the wideouts. McCaffrey is hampered by an injury as well. Davis and Craver in the backfield, and Shannon Sharp, who just caught that ball. This offensive line started every game with the exception of one missed start by Tom Nalen a year ago. And they have developed into a pretty decent offensive line. 2nd down and 4. Terrell Davis, fresh from a 111-yard outing last week. That's his first carry. It'll be 3rd down and 1. This is a Tampa defense that held Detroit to 206 yards last week. Culpepper and Jackson, along with Eric Curry and the #1 draft pick Reagan Upshaw. The linebackers, Martz, Hardy Nickerson, and Derek Brooks. And in the secondary, it's Mayhew and Dimry at the corners. John Lynch back as a starter because Todd Scott is out for the season, and Mel Johnson completes that group. Dwayne Carswell comes in as an extra tight end on 3rd and 1. Play action. And there was pressure applied by Eric Curry. He was right in Elway's face.
Yeah, Eric Curry picks up right where he left off last week against Detroit, which may have been his best game as a Buck. Former #1 draft pick, now in his 4th year. He had a terrific game a year ago. They tried to fool him. He's on the far left, number 75, a naked bootleg, and he's saying, don't bring that my way, Mr. Elway.
Tom Ruin is on to punt. The Broncos gave up an 88-yard punt return last week to Joey Galloway of the Seahawks. Nilo Sylvan, the rookie, is back to try and duplicate that feat. Nice high punt by Ruin. Sylvan at the 15.
Shouldn't have fair caught that ball.
Well, last week he made a mistake and ran it out from 6 yards in the end zone on a kickoff return. So, mental mistake.
Yeah, and that's what Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, is saying. And there's plenty of room there, tremendous separation between him catching the ball and the on-rushing coverage team. And anytime you have this much room, I mean, I don't know whether he was confused because it was a long and deep punt. I think he punted it much farther than he thought it was going to. But look how much room is there, right there, to be able to catch it and do something with it.
Trent Dilfer is the starting quarterback. He's had a miserable 1996 and a less than average 1995. Here's Dilfer. Dropped. That's one reason it's been miserable. That's Jackie Harris, the tight end. Trent Dilfer now in his third season, #1 draft pick out of Fresno State. He was the 6th player chosen in the draft in '94.
And Vern, you know, no matter how good the Bucs defense is or ultimately becomes, this team will never really compete consistently unless he plays well consistently and throws the ball more accurately.
Backs are split on 2nd and 10. Reggie Brooks opens as a starter. First start of the season. This one incomplete across the middle to Mike Allstott, the rookie. Let's check the backs and receivers for Tampa Bay. It's Reggie Brooks, just acquired on waivers from Washington, who gets the start tonight, along with the rookie Allstott. Alvin Harper, Courtney Hawkins, and Harris up front. This is a kind of, they've lost their best offensive lineman, Paul Gruber. He's out with an injury. Will be out for about 3 weeks. Jason Odom, a rookie, takes his spot. 3rd and 10. Just a 4-man rush. Dilfer shakes free, fires it downfield, and it's intercepted by Tyrone Braxton. Nope, he was out of bounds.
Boy. And just the kind of start you don't want when you're battling your confidence. Not only was it 3 and out, it was nearly picked off. I mean, his first pass he threw out of the range of Jackie Harris. There's 1 foot, and no, a good call by the official. He was clearly out of bounds. But the Broncos feel that they can get a very good up-the-middle punt return on their first punt return, Vern.
Well, they have Todd Kinchin back to do that right now, waiting for the punt of Tommy Barnhart. Nice and high. Kinchin, acquired from St. Louis for just this kind of task, and excellent downfield coverage.
Well, you see the way Kinchin looks at the coverage. He's unusual in punt returners, and then he'll look at the ball, then look at the coverage, and then look at the ball again. Scares the heck out of their special teams coach, Richard Smith.
There's
He's
a
up at the
flag
ball.
down. Excuse me, Pat.
There he looks at the coverage twice, getting a feel for it. You don't see many punt returners do that, but he's had great success. First punt return was for a touchdown with the Rams a few years ago.
Well, the kick was in the air. 34 of the receiving team was holding 10 yards from the end of the run. First down, timeout.
That's Ron Blum, our referee tonight, and Tyrone Braxton, who was guilty of the infraction. 12:54 to go, opening quarter.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by the new Coors Light Wide Mouth Can. Tap the Rockies with a smoother pour. By Fruit of the Loom, makers of really, really comfortable clothes. By Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, America's favorite neighbor. By Slate's Dress Bench. For stores, call 1-800-SLATES-1. And by Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Scoreless first quarter thus far. Second offensive set now for the Denver Broncos. They opened the season at home and trounced the New York Jets. 9 sacks defensively in that game. Then went on the road and won in Seattle last week for the first time since 1989. Trying to get off to a 3-0 start for the first time since that same season. Elway hands it off to Terrell Davis, who dances and looks for a hole behind the line of scrimmage and gets out near the 34-yard line. The tackle made by the middle linebacker, Hardy Nickerson.
You just mentioned about Terrell Davis. This is a guy that he's a running back that you can depend upon. And watch how he picks his hole. He's number 30. This is supposed to go as a kind of a cutback hole. Good block by Habib, who kind of crushes his man down. Gets a real good block by Shannon Sharp and just finds a way to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. But very patient run.
2nd and 5. Elway, quick flip. Anthony Miller has it. Looks for some blocking help and doesn't get much. And Lonnie Martz, number 51, strong side linebacker with help from John Lynch, collaborating on the tackle.
When you think about the Tampa Bay defense and all the #1 draft picks they have had, including their 2 #1s on defense this year, Reagan Upshaw and Marcus Jones. And then you add in Eric Curry, who played well in the first series, a high draft pick, Warren Sapp a year ago. There's Hardy Nickerson, who came over from the Pittsburgh. They have the makings of a very good defensive team, but they must get more production out of their offense.
There's the stretch of the chain, and it comes up just short. So
how short? How short would you estimate?
That's a smidgen.
A smidgen.
A smidgen.
That's fair. That's fair.
A smidgen is a little more than a pinch.
Did you ever put a pigeon between your, or a smidgen between your teeth?
Only when I was running around with Walt Garrison.
Yeah,
Mike Shanahan.
You know, he has done a great job, I think, in creating a very good defensive football team. He's always been known as an offensive coach, and I think he's much more well-rounded now. Greg Robinson's running his defensive scheme, but he's brought in some real good free agents, particularly Bill Romanowski.
Third and just a bit. A smidgen. Bounces to the outside. Here's Davis. Well, he has forgotten the art of a stiff arm. I thought sure he'd shift that ball to his left hand and give it a right arm, but
you know, Vern, you could hear the block of Aaron Craver, his fullback, number 29, and that allowed Terrell Davis to kind of bounce out. You know, Terrell Davis is not going to make a lot of 40-yard runs, but you're not going to get any losses with him either. Left part of the screen, number 29, clears the way, bounces out on the outside. I mean, a very, very patient and disciplined kind of runner, a tough inside runner. That time he bounces it outside for the first.
And across midfield for the first time tonight. First and 10 at the Tampa 49. Elway pumps once, comes right. Sherrard was open downfield, but he settles instead for the short man, and Terrell Davis can't hang on to it. So it'll be second down and 10.
You know, I think you have to be careful when you're forcing John Elway out of the pocket. I mean, you have to be real careful. I think you want to put pressure on him, but you don't want to flush him, because I think the most extraordinary thing he does is move from one side and throw the ball across the entire side of the field. Very few guys can do that, and I think it surprises defensive backs every time he does it.
Second and 10. Shannon Sharp is the motion man. They toss it to Davis. He goes left. Zimmerman with a kick-out block, and Terrell Davis has another first down. There is a fumble, but I believe, well, let's see who got it.
That ball just popped up. Yeah, a lot of guys on that sideline think the Buccaneers have it.
Warren Sapp was giving him a little help, a little coaching on the sidelines.
A little refereeing, you mean?
Fumble recovered by Tampa Bay before they went out of bounds. First down, Tampa. Timeout.
Well, Vern, we said at the very beginning of this broadcast, if Tampa Bay is going to have any chance of winning this ball game, their defense is going to have to create some turnovers. They get the first one of the game right here in the first quarter. A good tackle, but you know who, Hardy Nickerson. Defense has to create 2 or 3 turnovers if we're going to have a chance. And he strips it with his right hand right there on Terrell Davis, and now it's up to his offense to make something happen.
Backs in the eye on the second offensive set now for the Buccaneers. Dilfer hands it off up the middle. Reggie Brooks. As a rookie in '93, he rushed for better than 1,000 yards for the Washington Redskins as a second-round draft pick. They had a coaching change, and he fell in disfavor with Norv Turner. Turnovers have been a problem for Tampa Bay in the first 2 games. This is actually their 4th turnover now of 1996. You see, they had 3 coming in. Last in the NFL, -7.
Yeah, look at the giveaways. And that has been the problem. They've turned it over 10 times, and then when they've taken it away, they haven't scored any points.
Jumpy Gathers comes in defensively for Denver. Brooks bounces this to the outside. Gets a little bit of a brush block. It's a first down if the play stands, but there is a flag back at the 35-yard line.
Well, there's a rookie starting at left tackle for Tampa Bay, Jason Odom. And I don't know if that holding was on him, but he made a nice block on that play. And we also talked with Jason yesterday saying, hey, I know it's my first start.
70 offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
And that is on Jason Odom. And he said, hey, I'm not going to be intimidated, and I want to let Alfred Williams, the gentleman I'm playing against, know that I'm going to play hard the whole game. So he said the start of this game is important to me.
That time he had a guy named Jumpy Gathers who's been around for a while.
I'd hold him too.
Yeah. So that wipes out a 12-yard game, which other than a quarterback scramble is the longest run from scrimmage so far this year. Leroy Thompson and Jerry Ellis come in. Screen pass right side. Ellison has it. but he's not going to get much. Michael Dean Perry up the top, and Ray Crockett down low.
You're right. Michael Dean Perry hustled like you couldn't believe it. And there he is, number 95. I mean, first he's chasing Trent Dilfer on the screen pass, and now he's huffing and puffing. But he went all the way across the field, and a hustle play almost caused a turnover. Watch 95 in the middle of your screen. He sees it it's a screen, he reads it, and he's right after Ellison, and he gets a piece of the tackle. I mean, when your defensive linemen are hustling like that, good things are going to happen. That's one of the reasons this defense has played so well this year.
Well, this plays right into Denver's hand now, because Tampa Bay looking at a 3rd and 15. They're inept on 3rd down conversions at any rate.
Yeah, last time they were 3rd and 10, now 3rd and 15.
Allstott and Leroy Thompson are the running backs. 3-man rush. Dilfer with time. Incomplete. Leroy Thompson drops it. That's 2 drops already in the first quarter.
Yeah, but I think he's making the guys adjust to the ball a little too much, Vern. I think the first thing that you have to be in the NFL, Mike Holmgren was talking to us this summer about it, is really being a fine thrower. What we meant by that is a really accurate thrower. And Trent Dilfer has struggled with his accuracy, only 42% completion rate this year.
Tommy Barnhart will punt for the second time. Todd Kinchin back to return it. Kinchin waits.
He looks.
It's a fascinating art, isn't it?
Yeah.
Standing by the side of him while he was warming up an hour before the game.
Yeah.
That ball comes down. It's terrifying. And there was nobody rushing him at the time. Back in a moment. That's another spectacular September Sunday in the Rocky Mountains, and the Denver Broncos get it back for the 3rd time in the game. 8:56 to go in the opening quarter. No score thus far. Tampa and Denver. Terrell Davis, at the beginning of the day, trailed only Barry Sanders in total yards from scrimmage with 243.
You know, he really had a good rookie year, Vern. I think he stepped it up a notch. Even a higher level he's playing at this year.
6th round draft choice a year ago when he had 1,117 yards. Backs are split. Elway finds McCaffrey, who turns it inside and moves it out to the 34-yard line. Ed McCaffrey mixed last week. He'll alternate with Mike Sherrard tonight.
One thing about a Mike Shanahan offense as you watch Ed McCaffrey, he is going to use everybody on the field. We've seen Shannon Sharp catch a ball. Anthony Miller has been thrown to use Terrell Davis. And, you know, when Shannon Sharp ran in the flat, got a lot of attention there, and that opened Ed McCaffrey behind him.
John Elway, 3 of 5 for 19 yards. He needs 15 yards now to go over 45,000 in his career in total offense. Aaron Craver on 2nd and short. And the 6-year man from Fresno State might have to have the play called back because of a flag.
Legal hands to the face. 75 offense. 10 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Brian Habib.
You know, you mentioned the offensive line staying together, and only 6 NFL teams had the same offensive line start this year as they did a year ago. I think 4 of those 6 teams started the season 2-0, and it shows you what you need. You need continuity in your offensive line, I think, to be a good offensive team, particularly early in the year.
2nd and 11 after that penalty on Habib. Anthony Miller starts in motion. Elway back up in the pocket. Shovels the pass to Anthony Miller. My goodness.
I think it was left-handed.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about his extraordinary skills. Did they count those as part of the 45,000 total yards?
I don't know whether to call him amphibious or ambidextrous. What's your choice?
Well, again, just when you think you have him, and, you know, again, he's so strong, too. I mean, he's a big, strong guy. You get his right arm because you think he's not going to be able to get it off. You know, Sapp's doing the right thing. He's got a strong left arm, too.
Passes completed by left-handed quarterbacks. Esiason would like to have that arm tonight. 3rd and 4.
Direct snap.
Right to the hands of Terrell Davis. And it didn't work. Scratch that one.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Tampa Bay hanging in there. Again, with not a real good offensive show. And We said special teams are going to have a chance. And special teams are going to have to win their battle for the Buccaneers to win this ball game. So plays like this is very important for the Buccaneers.
Tom Run. Nilo Sylvan, who fair caught the last one, will not do so this time. Out to the 32 or 33-yard line. Fumble. That's Harold up.
Oh, my.
Keith Burns comes out there with it.
Special teams has to be a plus for the Buccaneers tonight.
Yep. They are going to unravel, and Ron Bloom will let us know what's going on.
Contact. First down, Tampa. Timeout.
Ruled down by contact. There's the initial hit by Glenn Cadrez.
That was a fumble. That was a fumble.
Bring back replay.
Yep. Let's go back to the punt return of Nilo Sylvan. Watch number 59 comes in from the right of your screen, and he's going to strip him of the ball. I don't think he has possession here, Bernie. He kind of gets it trapped on his back. But I think the ball is out there when his knee hits, and the Broncos recover. I think that should have been a fumble recovery by the Broncos.
I will defer.
Okay.
I'll sit on the pickets for a little bit.
Good at that.
Let the pickets tickle. Here's a completed pass. Right side to Mike Allstott. Another fumble.
Man.
Well, they can't blame the atmosphere and the altitude.
You know, that was one of the, really the first accurate throw that Trent Dilfer.
Out of bounds. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the fumble.
Right.
Second down.
Can't advance a fumble there. Ford was. But the Trent Dilfer was the first time he's thrown an accurate pass. I mean, he's struggled here a little bit with his accuracy, but that's what he got. He got one right to his fullback, Allstott. And when your quarterback is struggling, I think fullbacks in the flat and the old tight end, you want to see a lot of those guys.
Somebody's called for a measurement now, so Ron Bloom will pick up the substituted football, and they'll bring the chain all the way across. You know, we talked with Dilfer last night. He's a young man who is still filled with a sense of excitement and confidence. He said, and you hear this, Pat, you and I have over the years, I've just got to start to enjoy the game, but, you know, which comes first?
Well, you know, it's always more fun when you're winning. But I think it was a very honest assessment that he gave us last night. He said, I am no Brett Favre. I'm no John Elway. And he said, I know I played badly. And I know if I don't get over the hump, I'm not going to be playing here long. But I want to get over the hump. And his plan tonight is to try to be a lot looser. And just, you know, as he kept saying it, you know, rip it and grip it.
Right.
Or grip it and rip it.
Either one.
But not be so tentative.
2 for 6 for 12 yards tonight. He came in with a quarterback rating of 17.6. Hands it off. Reggie Brooks. Bill Romanowski among those who greet Reggie Brooks at the 42-yard line. Brooks, as we said, a 1,000-yard runner out of Notre Dame, a second-round draft pick. Had that one good season for the Redskins. He was saddled with a reputation as a man who couldn't hang on to the ball. And last year, his final year with the Redskins, carried twice for -2 yards.
Well, the Redskins didn't think he was a tough enough runner, tough enough inside runner. That's why they let him go.
Alvin Harper, Courtney Hawkins both come to the near side. Horace Copeland is out for the year at wide receiver. Another of the injuries for Tampa Bay. Jackie Harris. I know you think they've got to get the tight end involved.
Yeah, I like that. Mike Shula, the new offensive coordinator, trying to get the ball to Jackie Harris. When your quarterback is struggling, I think the tight end is such, or can be such a friend, particularly when you have a good one in Jackie Harris. Now, that's only his 7th catch of the year. But he's a big target. He's right in front of you. The ball doesn't have to be in the air a long time. And Jackie Harris, like Shannon Sharp, is very good after the catch. There's Mike Shula, his first job as an offensive coordinator. Second time with Tampa, though.
First down and 10. Dilfer into the flat. Allstott, the rookie fullback. He's a player about whom Tony Dungy says a lot of nice things. Ray Crockett with the tackle.
He's also a guy who has some very unusual training habits. I mean, out of Purdue, their second-round draft pick, and he used to at Purdue. I think he still does it with the Buccaneers. He kind of pushes a Jeep around the parking lot to work his leg strength. Then he carries a bunch of tires behind him with a rope when he's doing sprints for his speed. And
we have rare film of you pushing an automobile through Orange County.
That would be rare.
Yeah.
That would be very rare.
You know, when that gas gauge gets down to E, that's normally a sign you should do something.
That has happened to me a couple times, I'm embarrassed to admit.
Ditto.
I always figured a couple of miles left. I know there's a couple more miles in there.
Yeah, another stretch of the chain.
I tell you, if you are Tony Dungy and Trent Dilfer, you're very happy with the way this first quarter has gone. I mean, they're hanging in there, and you know, they played some pretty good defense. And Trent Dilfer now has completed a couple passes that he's getting that confidence going.
But this is the 28th drive that Dilfer has engineered this season, out of which they've gotten 3 field goals. No touchdowns. Backs in the eye on 1st and 10. Give it to the fullback, Allstott. And the rookie from Purdue picks up maybe 1.
There's number 51 in part of that tackle, John Mobley, their #1 draft pick at a touchdown. This is the guy that, you know, nobody really heard of him or heard much of him, and all of a sudden around the Senior Bowl his name started to surface of being a #1 draft pick. The Broncos wanted him or Walt Harris, never talked about him, and when that 15th pick came up, they grabbed him.
2nd down and 9. He earned his starting spot after the first preseason game when they defeated the 49ers. Blitz is coming. Dilfer picked off, and here we go. Tyrone Braxton, and he will ease his way in for the touchdown. 69 yards, 7th interception thrown by Dilfer this year. Still no touchdowns.
And Vern, he just locked in on the guy. You know, you give a free safety a read like that, you got to look off a little bit before you throw it. But I think he kind of got locked into that receiver. And when a free safety sees that, has that much time to react and step in front of the receiver, you got a chance for an interception, and then you have a chance for a touchdown.
Tyrone Chicken Braxton, 69 yards. Jason Elam with the extra point. It's up, and it's good.
Now, just when you think the Bucs are hanging in there, we're just talking about it, disaster strikes again. 7th interception of the year, and worse yet, it's for a touchdown. Now, Dilfer's looking left the whole way. Dave Moore, number 83, is a tight end. The ball is a little bit behind him, too. If you're going to throw the ball outside, throw it away from the defender. That was an easy pick for Tyrone Braxton. And 69 yards later, the Broncos are up 7-0. Look at his eyes. And he hasn't even thought about looking anywhere else. And you see where Braxton came from? Really a long way away. Ball thrown inside. That's an easy play.
And for Trent Dilfer in the last season and two games, 4 touchdowns now and 25 interceptions. Among the quarterbacks who have not thrown touchdowns this season.
There's a surprise on this list, by the way.
Esiason, Meyer, Steve Walsh, and
Steve Young. That is, by the way, the surprise. In case you were wondering.
I didn't. Yeah, that's the one I would have picked as a shocker.
Trent Dilfer, in spite of all I said, he retains his confidence, and that's what you worry about most of a quarterback. But you get into one, what do you have to be confident about? I mean, you have to make it happen. And as good as their defense is and can be, ultimately your quarterback has to step up and make the plays.
Jason Elam will kick off. Nilo Sylvan waits for it. And Sylvan grabs it at the 3-yard line. He's got some room. Nice counterpunch by the special teams. Randy Hilliard made the tackle.
Well, we said the defense had to create turnovers. The Buck defense has done that. We said, hey, look who's coming on the field to get the team.
Take a look at who's coming on the field.
Yeah, we're going to get a minute to see that. We're going to get to see that in just a moment. But Nilo Sylvan does his part on special teams. For the Bucs special teams have come up with a big play. The defense has caused a turnover, but the cheering was not about that.
Now, there's a wonderful moment here. 20-year-old Gabe Wayne. He is the young man with Down syndrome. You may have heard about his story. He is a senior at Greeley Central High School, wants to play football. The state high school authority, here goes the running back, Reggie Bruce. him out of bounds. Just to wrap up the Gabe Lane story, the high school authority here in the state said, no, he's too old. He's 20. 19 is the limit, so he's been the object of great affection throughout this state this week, and he's here as a personal guest of Pat Bowlen.
And he was beaming right before the game because his high school team won in a blowout Friday night.
Gabe Lane.
And Reggie Brooks. Special teams set up the offense, and here's where the Buccaneers must score touchdowns. Must. No field goals.
31-yard gain by Brooks, longest of the season. Dilfer into the flat. Romanowski is there to knock it away.
Yeah, Bill Romanowski comes here as a free agent. This guy is one great linebacker in my estimation because Bill Romanowski can do a lot of different things. He's number 53. He can stuff the run, and he stays in on pass. He can guard fullbacks one-on-one, and he can knock the ball away without any pass interference. This is one athletic and tough strong side linebacker.
Started his career with the 49ers. Signed here as an unrestricted free agent out of Philadelphia. 2nd and 10. Alstott tests the middle. Alan Aldridge is a part of it. So is Steve Atwater.
And Vern, this is one of these defining moments, I think, for not only Tony Dungy, but for his quarterback, Trent Dilfer. 0-2. The team is struggling. You come down, you get a big play by your special teams and a nice run by Reggie Brooks. You face a critical third down situation. And he's asked for a face mask penalty. But here's where their third down receiver in the past has been Courtney Hawkins.
3rd and 7. Hawkins wide to the right. Draw play. Leroy Thompson gets to the 5, and they'll have to settle again for a field goal.
Well, I don't know. I think on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, a draw is not a bad play. It's a long way to get that kind of yardage against a team that's playing awfully good. But you know, anything can happen with special teams tonight with these Tampa Bay Bucks. They know they have to win this game on special teams.
Michael Houston, who has kicked 11 in a row to tie a club record. Watch out for the fake. Tommy Barnhart will snap it. Nope. And Michael Houston knocks it home. So he's now hit his last 12 field goals. That is a new Tampa Bay record, but they have to settle for 3 instead of 7.
You know, once again, though, 3 points rather than 7, Vern. That's been the story of their season.
Well, they've now got 4 field goals in 9 quarters. And let's take a look at the Nicotrol scoreboard. Green Bay rolling again. They do have some weapons, don't they? And how about the Indianapolis comeback over Dallas? Kansas City goes to 3-0.
Kansas City is playing great defense. Denver goes into Kansas City next week. Miami continues to roll. The Redskins win their 2nd. Warren Moon back, had a nice afternoon. Philadelphia, whom we'll see next week. How about New England? Boy,
that will not be the 206th grade sellout in Atlanta, will it? Oh, boy.
We're going to be lonely.
Yeah. This is only the 4th meeting between these two teams. The last one occurred the day after Christmas here in 1993, and these Buccaneers came in then as a 2-touchdown underdog, and they knocked off Denver 17-10. Here's Houston. Vaughn Hebron. Oh, that's knocked way out of the end zone. And a flag is down. This one may come back. You'll have to do it again. Thus far, a 69-yard interception return for a touchdown by Tyrone Braxton, and a field goal from Michael Houston. How about what he was telling us last night? Houston grew up in Hampton, Virginia, and he said the first person who ever used the phrase about him was in Spanish class. He had a friend named Paul Richardson, who one day in Spanish class stood up and said, "Como está, Michael Houston?"
Offside. 93, the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Now, I have heard it used since,
many times,
but we got right to the source.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite nicknames. Joe Marciano, special teams coach, who said, "Hey, we've got to win it tonight." You know, the other thing about Michael is he likes to stay on the field as long as he can. You know, he doesn't want anybody running out there get the kicking tee for him.
Right.
Yeah. He's got the real face mask. You know, a lot of these kickers today have the one bar, but he's got the real deal down. Looks like a football player.
Mm-hmm. Probably pushes cars around Hampton, Virginia. They'll kick off from the 25. This one will be returned. Taken short. 20-yard line. Patrick Jeffers, the wide receiver, gets it out to the 24.
And there he goes. He's going back to pick up his own tee. He said to us last night, I want to stay on the field as long as I possibly can. And, I guess when you're the kicker, the Bucs, you have been kicking off too much this year, and you didn't need any help.
Not a lot of practice. First down 10, 7-3, Denver leads it.
But, you know, the Bucs defense have done their job thus far. The special teams have done their job.
Backs are in tight. LA play action. Left side. Almost intercepted. Intended for Shannon Sharp. And Charles Dimry, number 39, dived under it. Couldn't quite get there.
Well, this one is thrown wide of Shannon Sharp, but he has been a factor already tonight. And I think when you think of reliable middle-of-the-field receivers, you have to think of Shannon Sharp because he creates mismatches. I mean, he's too big for DBs, too fast for linebackers. He is tough over the middle.
Second and 10. Across the middle, Terrell Davis. He's popped pretty good by Hardy Nickerson, number 56.
You know, some guys like Hardy Nickerson improve your defense immediately. You know, Reggie White did it, obviously in Green Bay. Bruce Smith, Bryce Popp do it in Buffalo. And Hardy Nickerson, with hits like that, has made this a better defense since he's come. You know, we asked him, hey, you missed Pittsburgh, would you? You wonder if he had stayed. He goes, no, I made the right decision coming here. And he could have had a sandwich named after him or something in Pittsburgh if he stayed.
Third and 1. Davis. That's good for the first down, and that should be the final play of the quarter. How about this ground attack for the Denver Broncos? 200 yards against the Jets, 180 last week in Seattle.
And combine that with defense. Now, mind you, they have beaten a couple of teams that are not tearing up the NFL right now, but their real first test comes next week when they travel to Kansas City.
Back with quarter number 2 in a moment. Welcome back to Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. Third week of the season, and already injuries are beginning to take their toll.
Yeah, look, the definition of playing hurt right there. One of the cheerleaders doing her thing, and tough to get the nylons over that baby.
It's a tough league. Sometimes you got to dance with pain. First and 10. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden. Back split behind John Elway. Mike Sherrard starts in motion, going to the right side. Followed by Charles Dimry. Blitz coming. Elway gets rid of it again. And he finds Aaron Craver out in the flat. Pressure was coming. Lonnie Martz was right on John Elway's back.
You know, John Elway may be 36 years old, but he is still very, very strong. Good rush by Brad Culpepper up front. Once before they had his right arm, he threw it with his left hand. This time he's on the way down, finds a way to get the ball to Aaron Craver. The thing about John Elway, his eyes are always downfield. He's not looking at the rush. When your eyes are downfield, you can make some plays like that.
42 yards. He needs 3 more to go for 45 passing in his career. Here's Davis bursting up the middle for a first down.
Terrell Davis over 40 yards here in this first half, and he has had some very good runs. And anytime that's happened, you get in holes like that, Vern, you're picking your way well, but your offensive line is doing a good job. And there's the coordinator, Gary Kubiak. Actually, his first time he's calling the plays for the Denver Broncos. Second year as a coordinator here, and mixing it up pretty good.
First and 10, Denver leads at 7-3. Terrell Davis drops it. It'll be second down and 10. And Gary Kubiak has that long play sheet, right?
Yeah, and Magna Carter was shorter. But, you know, you look through the thing, all those plays. Now, there are only 2 copies of that. He has one, and Mike Shanahan has one. Nobody else is allowed to touch him. And then they put him in a vault. And there's Shanahan's in his hand. But you see the highlighted ones, those are Elway's favorite plays. They started Wednesday right on through Thursday and then through Saturday saying, hey, what are your favorite plays in those situations? And then they highlight those.
2nd and 10. Into the flat, Terrell Davis. And that's about a 5-yard gain. And John Elway has just become the 3rd player in National Football League history to go for more than 45,000 yards in total offense. He joins Dan Marino and Fran Tarkenton.
Well, that's what is that? Is that 25.6 miles? Like Manhattan Island's only 13 miles.
So you throw it twice the length of Manhattan.
You throw 4 times Mount Everest. You throw it. I threw the ozone later.
Right.
At 25, and then you throw it over an Olympic marathon. Yeah. Pretty good distance.
Name the last 3 winners of the Olympic marathon.
Well, I wonder if you can tell me how you measure ozone.
Flag is down. And this was not a dead ball foul, so the play might stand.
See, the cadence by John Elway, he does it as well as anybody in the league. And, you know, Hardy Nickerson was talking to us last night about him and his cadence. You cannot get a rhythm against Elway.
Offside, 75 defense, penalties decline, 1st down.
You know, Hardy Nickerson was saying, you know, he changes up his counts. You can't get a rhythm against him, and it makes it very difficult to blitz him, to get the timing on the blitz, and then he'll draw you off sides and have a free play. And the other thing he said is he never, you know, on the running plays, he always looks downfield. You never know whether it's a run or a pass.
1st and 10 after the penalty on Curry. That's McCaffrey. Vaughn Hebron comes in to spell Terrell Davis, and he picks up a quick 3 as the Broncos are threatening again, leading 7-3. The touchdown by Denver, a 69-yard interception return, 2nd of his career for Tyrone Braxton, and then a field goal. There's Braxton. Started his career here as a 12th round draft pick.
The defense, you know, causing turnovers, sacks. They have 12 sacks on the year. Stuff in the run.
2nd and 7. Elway, Miller, 1st down at the 15.
You know, Vern, one of the things we just talked about a moment ago, how Mike Shanahan and now Gary Kubiak likes to use everybody on the field, and it makes him so more diverse and so much more difficult, I think, to defend. Shannon Sharp's caught passes. Ed McCaffrey's caught passes. Now it's Alvin Miller on the slant route. And, you know, you try to get him with a chance to run with the ball after the catch, and that's a good call, good execution, and Gary Kubiak has spread it around.
Gain of 13 and a 1st down and 10. Double tight end set. Craver, the motion man. Elway finds Aaron Craver, and he's out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Another flag down on the far side of the field. This one will come back. Mike Shanahan, Terrell Davis is getting some medical attention on the near side.
You know, Von Hebron.
3-6 offense, leg whip, 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
Tom Nalen, I believe.
Yeah, got him on the leg whip. But Von Hebron, there's Nalen. He is a good addition to this Denver Bronco team. First of all, it's a marathon. Guys are going to get injured, but Hebron has proven himself in this league. He's a different kind of runner. He adds a little bit more spark. You know, they're hoping to use him, you know, 4 or 5 times a game as the year wears along.
1st and 25. Back split behind Elway. Screen pass. Hebron gets by Lonnie Martz. Breaks another tackle of John Lynch. And is finally stopped at the 20-yard line. So he got 10 back.
Well read by Lonnie Martz, but Hebron just made a miss.
Hebron cut by Philadelphia, and it was Bill Romanowski who said, hey, this kid can really play, and he urged Mike Shanahan to bring him aboard.
And now what they have is, and this is Mike Shanahan saying, we have a legitimate backup running back in Von Hebron.
2nd down, 16. Dropped by Hebron.
Maybe they have a legitimate second running back, but just not a very good receiver. But I think here's where John Elway's arm strength really is so good. I mean, he can drill the ball and watch the, you know, we talk about accuracy. Boy, got a nice block there by Roger Thompson. Wow. Talk about some of that's luck, some of that's accuracy. But Elway's arm strength, unlike a lot of quarterbacks in the league, can create touchdowns in this area of the field. He and Favre and Marino.
Draw play, Hebron. Yep. That draws forth a cascade of boos from this 206th consecutive sellout crowd.
Different Denver team not relying on John Elway as much as they used to, Vern. It's really Mike Shanahan is saying, hey, we're playing good defense, we're running the football, and John Elway doesn't have to do it every time.
Jason Elam is perfect thus far this season, 4 of 4, 13 of 14 including preseason. Bothered a little bit by a hip flexor, but nothing wrong with that one. That one is perfect from 40, but there is another flag down. This field is as yellow as the aspen up in the mountains this week. Gee.
I knew you'd get one of those in.
Oh, I haven't begun yet.
That'll bring it back 5 more.
Illegal formation. The right end was not on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards. Repeat, 4th down.
Were you aware that there is a fresh, glistening coat of snow which adorn the Purple Mountain's majesty?
No.
Didn't know that.
No. Appreciate it, though.
It's a harbinger of things to come. Ski season here. Richard Smith, the special teams coach, will kick it from 45. And why not? Jason Elam, 4th in accuracy among the active place kickers inside 40 yards since he came in the league. He's a dandy.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Yukon, putting you comfortably in command, and by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Enjoy all-you-can-eat riblets every day, now through October 15th.
Fumble. What kind of a fair kid signal is that? He gave a signal at the last split second. No! No! No!
That ought to be fun coming up tonight following the Steel postgame show. Stay with TNT for an encore presentation of the NFL head coach, the man behind the men. Special takes an inside look at one of the sport's toughest professions tonight, only on TNT. 9:53 remaining in the first half of play.
Well, you see these two after 561 career passes, how they compare, and really it's just the TD and interception category that's really a distinct difference. I mean, John Elway, who struggled early in his career, did throw a lot of touchdowns.
There's the kickoff return by Nilo Sylvan, and he's out to the 21-yard line.
You know, Vern, John Elway was talking to us about his career, his early career, and he was saying, you know, I was just awful the first part of my career. He said, first game I played against Pittsburgh, I wish I could have, you know, given all the money back. I was playing against Pittsburgh, saw the linebackers breathing across the line of scrimmage at me, wanted to give the game up. But he hung in there. He's had an incredible career.
Well, he was 1 of 8 in his opener against Pittsburgh, and the defensive backfield coach for the Steelers that day was Tony Dungy. Now the head coach on the far side of the field. 10-3, Dilfer comes right. Has a man open. Nice touch on that one. Finds Jackie Harris for the first down.
Okay, when you're battling that confidence, keep looking for your tight end, Jackie Harris. This was one of those naked bootlegs, and this thing was open. Got a nice little hold there by Dave Moore, which always helps. Showed some nice touch, throwing it over one defender and into his tight end, Jackie Harris. I mean, that was a tight throw. And other than the interception, you know, he's throwing some accurate passes.
Gain of 17 and a first down at the 37-yard line. Hand off to Reggie Brooks, Alan Aldrich, and Bill Romanowski. Go back there to stuff that one.
Yeah. It's not all Trent Dilfer. They need better players around him and guys to play better around him. That includes offensive linemen, wide receivers. Everybody's got to start making plays. I mean, it always starts with your quarterback. The rookie, Jason Odom, the left tackle, number 70. Mayberry at center. Riesenberg, number 79.
Later, the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Ian Beckles missed last week's game with an injury. He's still hobbled. This is not one of the memorable offensive lines in the league. Second down and 14. Allstott was in motion. So this one will come back, and the option will rest with the Broncos.
Number 80, Alvin Harper, too, of Buccaneers, later the Dallas Cowboys.
Injury report from the Denver bench. Terrell Davis bothered by headaches, and he has a history of migraine headaches.
40 offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Well,
And we're told it's questionable whether he'll be back.
Remember the shot he took by Hardy Nickerson on that one pass play?
Right. Now, I'm not suggesting this is a migraine headache. He
Right.
just said that last week he missed a day of practice because of migraines. This one, I think, is a result of that shot.
Yeah.
But we don't know whether he'll be back.
And this is the guy the Denver Broncos need if they're going to make a run for the playoffs this year. Because he complements the incredible talents of John Elway very well.
Second and 19. Draw play. Leroy Thompson, number 34. And Alfred Williams, who played collegiately just up the road at Boulder for the CU Buffaloes, and never has really found his stride as a pro.
Yeah, and he went right around Jason Odom, number 70, that time. The rookie left tackle actually beat him quickly inside. In a draw play, you got to take away the inside, push the defensive end out around the play. But the quickness of Alfred Williams inside caused that good play.
Dilfer under center, third and 19. Dilfer across the middle, Jackie Harris. What a play!
Yeah,
Tyrone Braxton and Ray Crockett were there, but so was Harris.
That'll do something for your confidence. I mean, Jackie Harris has been their featured receiver thus far in this game. Now, he came in with only 6 receptions. But he's had 3 tonight for 67 yards, including that one right down the middle, matched up on Ray Crockett, a defensive back, but it's the size and the strong hands. You know, he doesn't bobble the ball when he gets those big old paws on the ball.
That's a gain of 36 and a first down at the Denver 35-yard line. Play action for Dilfer. With time, goes deep. Has another man, Alvin Harper, who in his year and a half has been a quiet force, and a flag is down.
Boy, there have been a lot of flags for the third game of the regular season. You know, but Dilfer threw an awful interception, but that was a terrific throw to Jackie Harris. You know, they're going to bring that one back. And a pretty good throw there to Alvin Harper.
Illegal shift, offense, 2 men moving. We're not set prior to the snap. 5 yards, repeat first down.
Well, when you're struggling offensively as this team is, you need discipline.
Yeah.
They've been horrible on first down in the first 2 games. Much better tonight.
Yeah. And that's one of the keys to their success this year, I think, is getting some plays on first down, so they don't get in those really terrible passing situations on third downs with those big defensive ends that come after your quarterback.
First and 15 from the 40. Blitz coming. Dilfer scrambles. Looks for blocking help. Oh, he got some. My goodness.
There goes Alvin Harper.
It was, and now a flag down out of bounds.
Did Alvin Harper... No, excuse me. It's not Alvin Harper. It's Jackie Harris.
Jackie Harris.
81. Now, Jackie Harris just made a terrific block on 2 linebackers.
One of them was Romanowski.
Yeah, and the other was Aldridge, the middle linebacker.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 51 defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And that's on John Mobley, the other linebacker. So all 3 linebackers are in the play. Watch this one. This guy's going to get blocked right here. That's Aldridge, number 57. Right on the right of your screen, right here. Here's the play. Jackie Harris, clean block. And I don't think that's a penalty.
That's pretty picky.
Yeah.
John Mobley spent his day off this week back in the league headquarters in New York trying to argue against a fine that was imposed on him, a fine of $10,000 for a late hit on Gino Torretta in the first preseason game.
And Vern, we say it again, can't settle for field goals if you're going to win in this league.
Hand off to Reggie Brooks. He slips the tackle of Braxton. Atwater has him. Treats him. We may have a face mask on Atwater. Yep.
Yeah, they got something going. The Buccaneers have something going on this drive, and it's Reggie Brooks on this run. Yeah, there's a corner of the face mask, and that's a serious face mask.
Number 27 defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's the 15-yard variety, but they'll get half the distance here.
Well, they marked the ball at the 3, Pat, and yet again, Tampa Bay looking for their first touchdown of the season.
And right now missing their best offensive lineman in Paul Gruber. Ordinarily in this circumstance, you'd say, hey, let's run it over the left tackle, Paul Gruber. He's not in. The rookie Jason Modom's in. So you have not necessarily a string at which to run.
Their quarterback, Trent Dilfer, has now thrown 391 passes since his last touchdown pass. 391. That's a drought they'd even respect in Egypt.
Scout.
5:19 to go in the first half of play. For only the second time this season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a first and goal. The one other opportunity, they fumbled. Brooks, flag down. Brooks is in the end zone for the touchdown, but check the flag.
It was dead ball. I think it was blown before the ball was snapped. And Reggie Brooks kind of stopped. Boy, I tell you, Tampa Bay.
Prior to the snap, full start. 62 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
That's Ian Beckles, the right guard.
And that would have been their first score of the year because they had a nice hole on the left side for Reggie Brooks. Their first touchdown of the year. Excuse me.
Ball is moved back to the 8-yard line.
And again, why not get Jackie Harris involved again? Use your fullback and your tight end combination routes down here.
Jackie Harris and Dave Moore, both tight left. Now Moore in motion, flags up.
Judge Al Jury.
He could probably serve as both judge
and jury. Yeah.
Please reset the clock to 5:19. Clock will start on the snap.
Thanks for the setup.
There we go. I'm just your setup guy. Happy to do it.
Al Jury's been an official in this league for a long, long time.
Now, what Tony Dungy's thinking about right now is the Bucs' first touchdown. And they've got a guy who's hot right now, Vern, and that's Jackie Harris.
Again, he's tight to the left. Play action. Dilfer hit as he lets it go. Mike Lodish.
This is a new Denver team because of their defense. It started with very good coverage. Dilfer didn't have anywhere to go. There's Williams, number 90. Lodish comes off a block late. I mean, and Perry has done it. Alfred Williams has done it. All four of their front four guys have made an impact in this first half.
Second and goal from the 8. Harris tight right this time. They hand it off to Brooks. He gets a block, and he's in for the touchdown. What a nifty piece of running by Reggie Brooks.
Nifty's a good word, and I think he got a good block from Jackie Harris, who's been really involved in this drive.
Reggie Brooks is trying to resuscitate a career in Tampa Bay.
Eric Rhett out in a holdout. They pick up Reggie Brooks to give him a spark, and he's done it. Their first touchdown in their 33rd possession.
79-yard drive in 8 plays, the highlight of which was a 36-yard catch by Jackie Harris. Husted will kick the extra point. It's up and it's good.
Well, Tony Dungy said last night, Reggie Brooks gives us a spark we need. And indeed he did on this run.
Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado, a 10-10 ball game with 5 to go in the first half on Reggie Brooks' touchdown run of 8 yards out.
Jackie Harris had a lot to do with their first touchdown run. But watch what he does. He just kind of buries Dan Williams. The fullback Allstott kicks his man out, and then Reggie Brooks just kind of slivers in behind him. Clever little run, but good block again by Jackie Harris.
And a good kickoff by Michael Husted. Von Hebron will have it come out to the 20.
It was a Jackie Harris show on that drive. Here was the catch on a 3rd and long. One-on-one down the middle of the field against Ray Crockett. The strong hands, he doesn't bobble the ball. Pulls it down for a first down to keep the drive alive. And then a little bit later, as he cleans out 2 linebackers and protects his quarterback to keep the drive alive. And then he threw the key block on the touchdown run.
And from the 20, Elway operates the Denver offense. Deep down the middle, a sliding drop by Anthony Miller.
Right now with 4:48 left in this half, Tony Dungy has to be pleased with his team. His offense has not only scored the first touchdown of the season, their defense has created a turnover and played pretty well. Their special teams came up with a big play on Nilo Sylvan's return. And so, you know, they're playing much better than they have in their first 2 weeks.
Sapp, number 99, in at right tackle. That way back into the flat. Charles Dimry with the tackle.
Warren Sapp without his helmet. He's one of those #1 picks they have had. They've got a lot of them on the defensive line. Glad his head was not in it at the time.
Marcus Jones, one of the 2 #1 picks, is in there right now. #1 picks from this year.
Reagan Upshaw, the other. Eric Curry was a #1 draft pick 4 years ago.
And again, Terrell Davis of the Broncos on the bench with headaches. Questionable if he'll return. 3rd down.
He got him in the cadence again. You know, and Elway waited to the 3rd down situation to change up the cadence.
May have gotten his own man.
Yeah, they have this time.
Prior to the snap, false start. 76 offense. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
You could tell by the look on his face. He thought he had him. You know, generally draws him off sides. He throws the ball deep. With Broderick Thompson, a little anxious.
You like the look of yellow in the fall?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Leaves are changing and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
We've had 12 penalties already in the first half. 7 against Denver for 58 yards.
And it's been like a preseason game this far in the penalty department.
3rd and 10. Elway comes to his left, chased from behind, and tackled right at the sideline.
They're mad, but I think that's a clean hit on John Elway.
Reagan Upshaw,
Yeah.
the #1 draft pick, the first #1 draft pick this year. Young man who came out of the University of California after 3 years of play there.
And again, the chase. This is what you always seem to be doing with John Elway. He slowed down. That wasn't a late hit.
Nilo Sylvan on to return the punt of Tom Lewis. Return is on all the way. Sylvan at the 31. Boy, he got a terrific block. My goodness. Melvin Johnson, number 25.
Man.
And a flag is down as well at the 23.
Yeah, Joe Marciano has these Buccaneers playing some pretty good special teams. And they're good enough to win on special teams. They're good enough to win on defense. They haven't been good enough yet to win on offense.
Joe Marciano.
Yeah, and Melvin Johnson, number 25.
Raced on the receiving team. No number reported. 10 yards from the spot of the flag. Timeout.
Right of the screen. Melvin Johnson comes up and sets up his punt returner, Nigel Sylvan. Special teams have done their part, Vern.
10-10 ball game with 3:26 to go first half. Dilfer 7-13 for 90 yards. He hands it off to Reggie Brooks. Reggie, who has the first touchdown of the season for the Buccaneers tonight, an 8-yard run. Be sure to be with us next Sunday at 7 Eastern. It'll be Coors Light Pro Football tonight. That'll kick it off. Then at 8 Eastern, Rodney Peete leads the Eagles into the Georgia Dome to take on Jeff George and the Falcons. And Vince Cellini and the studio gang return after the game to wrap up the day. And the NFL and the Steel post-game report next Sunday night. 2nd down and 4 in the tie ball game. Brooks tries to spin and is hit behind the line by John Mobley. Well, Tampa Bay's possession charts for the night.
Well, you got a couple of punts, -5 in their first 2 possessions, and they get the field goal. They should have perhaps had a better attempt at a touchdown, and then a good drive led by Jackie Harris. And Reggie Brooks gets a bit of the end zone. So we got a pretty good ball game.
3rd and 7, 10-10 game.
And now Trent Dilfer has to rise to the occasion too on 3rd down.
Hawkins in motion. Dilfer across the middle, tipped away, incomplete.
Yeah, just a little bit off. We talked about accuracy, Vern. I mean, he just doesn't get the ball on the right side of the receivers, away from the defenders. I mean, you have to be such a fine passer, an accurate passer in the NFL today to be successful. And he's off just a little bit.
Is it a matter of mechanics?
Well, they suggest that. I don't think so. I mean, he's a guy that had a very high percentage in college. I think he's not real confident. And he may not be accurate enough to play long-term in the league.
Tommy Barnhart is on to punt on 4th down and 7. Todd Kinchin waits for it. This is not a particularly good punt. Kinchin, well, that was not a particularly wise decision. No. And Kinchin is hurt.
Todd Kinchin felt if that ball hit the ground, it was going to take a Buccaneer bounce. That's why he was trying to get underneath it, but it was ill-advised. This is a guy very unique, the way he returns punts. He looked down again. Did you see that? He looked down, I think, and he got clobbered.
Got a knee right in the back of the neck. Time is out.
Well, Todd Kinchin, in that rather unusual punt return style, will take his eyes off the ball just for a moment. And he wasn't able to make up enough ground to make the recovery. Then he gets kicked in the back of the neck.
And he's appears to be okay. 1st down at the 45. 1:57 to go first half. Elway out of the shotgun. Out of the shotgun this year, he's 8 out of 12. Now making 9 out of 13.
He is a middle of the field mismatch, Shannon Sharp, number 84. And there are very few tight ends that work the middle of the field as well as he does. Very few guys who run the 2-minute drill as well as this guy.
Blitz coming. And they work the middle of the field again for a 1st down. See if Elway does use one of his timeouts. Yes, he's got 2 remaining now. And he stops the clock with 1:29 to go in the first half of play.
Well, you know, their offense has not scored a touchdown this first half. I mean, it's not been a terribly productive offensive show for the Denver Broncos.
John Elway, kind of surprising, Pat, for all of his brilliant play. He's only been selected to the Pro Bowl 4 times, and he's only adorned the cover of the Broncos 4 times.
Yeah, his 14th year now. this is this year's, the 1996 one. But, you know, I think of all the things about his career that, to me, that's most remarkable is that he's only missed 9 games. This guy is durable. And you see how strong he is. I mean, he's throwing balls right-handed, left-handed. He had guys hanging all over him.
Signed a 5-year contract in the offseason. Doesn't expect to play all 5, but probably 3. Across the middle. And they move it down to the 35-yard line. 1:19 to go. Word from the bench is that Todd Kinchin is fine. He will be available for punt return duties. Oh, picked off.
Yep.
Intercepted on the right side.
And that's the rookie, Donnie Abraham. And Herman Edwards, the defensive backfield coach, was telling me right before the game that Donnie Abraham is a guy that he thinks is going to develop into a star in this league. Has played very well this year. His first interception of his NFL career. And again, the Tampa Bay defense has played well this game. I mean, that's a good read. He blocks it. It actually gets sandwiched. The reason he made the catch is that his teammate sandwiched the ball right into his stomach. And that's Herman Edwards, assistant head coach and defensive backfield coach.
Donnie Abram, a third-round draft pick out of East Tennessee State. Hardy Nickerson telling Hardy knows where the camera is.
Yeah, that's the first interception for the Bucs this year.
Dilfer, Jackie Harris again.
Yeah, you know, when you're struggling at a quarterback, you give your tight end a chance, and they've done that.
Buccaneers used one of their timeouts earlier. They have 2 left.
And give Mike Shula some credit, going back to Jackie Harris. So they stop him.
19-yard pickup, first down. Dilfer, chased by Michael Dean Perry. Runs out of bounds in front of Lionel Washington. And stops the clock with 37 seconds to go. Coming up on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report, Vince Cellini will have no-huddle highlights from all of today's action. And Mark May and Randall Cunningham will add their analysis. That's at the halftime report, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report.
Well, they need about 15 yards in these last 37 seconds to give themselves a legitimate field goal attempt.
2nd and 7. Still 2 timeouts left. Blitz. Dilfer reads it. The ball is caught by Dave Moore at the 43-yard line.
They're working these tight ends.
I thought he trapped it.
Well, we'll see if you make a good field judge in a moment, Vern.
Both judge and jury.
Uh-huh. He's in there, too. 83 on the left of your screen. Another look at it. And, Vern, you're absolutely wrong again.
I thought he caught it. I said that
did you say you trapped it?
I said that. No.
Oh, you're backing up on me. You said you trapped it.
You misunderstood.
I did. Nonetheless, they still need about 13 yards.
I speak the Queen's English.
No, you don't.
3rd and 7. Uh-oh. Blitz again. Oh! Alvin Harper with a stiff arm. And Harper, one man to beat. First down at the 10.
Didn't beat him. You were asking for the old stiff arm a little earlier in this half. Well, Alvin Harper, who makes his first catch of the day, used that old stiff arm on Lionel Washington. But Lionel Washington, at the top of the screen, right up here, number 80, then had a very quiet career at Tampa Bay. Read the blitz, that's the first thing you do. Made the right adjustment, then the strength of all his 6'4", 218-pound frame. And Washington didn't give up and saves the touchdown. But this is a real strong play. His first big play this year for the Bucs. And you know, when he was with the Dallas Cowboys, that was 38 yards. When he was with the Dallas Cowboys, he made a lot of big plays.
Well, his average has gone down. Average yards per catch. Look in Dallas how it went up in each of his seasons there. 16.3 and 91, 92, it stayed about the same. Then 93 and 94, big seasons. And last year, despite 46 catches, only a 14-yard average.
Well, you know, the other receiver, of course, was Michael Irvin. And Michael Irvin got a lot of attention. But he should make big plays. He plays their weak side receiver and gets a lot of one-on-one coverage.
1st and 10 at the 11. 19 seconds before the break. Dilfer tipped away. Nice play by Atwater in the end zone.
You know, Steve Atwater is known as such a hammer guy and tackles and a big hitter. You forget sometimes how good a pass defender he is. Harris is number 81. It's a three-man pattern. He was open for a moment. The ball's a little late, but good recovery by Steve Atwater to knock it away. You know who's playing pretty well now is Jason Odom, too, the left tackle for the Buccaneers. He's doing a good job of protecting Trent Dilfer.
Number 70 playing for Paul Gruber. 4th round draft pick, a rookie. Hawkins in motion. Dilfer with time. Incomplete in the end zone. Atwater defending Harris.
Same play.
They wanted a flag and didn't get one.
Round 2. And round 2 goes to Steve Atwater. He wins most rounds. But that's a good matchup so far. Atwater and Jackie Harris. The last 2 plays, Steve Atwater has won. But Jackie Harris has had a big first half. Just out in front of him a little bit again. That fine accuracy that you're talking about, Vern.
3rd and 10. Rush coming. They got him. The clock has 7 seconds to go. Dilfer calls time. They'll try the field goal. First sack of the night by the Broncos, who came in having sacked 9 times against the Jets and 3 last week.
Yeah, and also I think the first guy there was Harold Hasselback, number 96, at the bottom of your screen here. He just does a swim move on the right tackle. I think it was Riesenberg. Gets around him. Dilfer just does the best thing he do is he's going to keep his hands on it. Alfred Williams from the other side. You know, once again, though, 2 good opportunities to score touchdowns, and now they're going to attempt another field goal, Vernon. Good offensive team. Trent Dilfer knows it. Scores touchdowns inside the 20. Green Bay has been phenomenal this year inside the 20.
Well, the first interception of the season for Tampa Bay began this drive. And now they're going to have to settle for the try for 3, but this would give them the lead.
Yeah, remember, fumble recovery led to 3 points, and then the interception leads to this field goal attempt.
Jim Pine is the center. Tommy Barnhart will hold it. Michael Husted has hit 12 in a row. And he just does curl it inside the right corner. There is a flag down. No surprise there. Ron Bloom, the referee, is getting more face time tonight.
Number 21 was pushed into the holder by the blocker. There is no foul. The field goal is good.
Okay. Well, Tony Dungy, you know, he's a very confident, quiet, confident. You know, he actually could make Job look like a lottery winner. Very patient guy.
Played collegiately at the University of Minnesota as a quarterback. And then played in the National Football League. Yes, he was. Yeah. Good option quarterback.
Threw a bunch of touchdowns there. He came out the same year in college as Herman Edwards, who's now his defensive backfield coach. There's Herman right there. Played together in a couple of bowl games and coached against one another for years. And when he got the job, he grabbed Herman to be his assistant head coach and defensive backfield coach.
Said last night that he's spending most of his time coaching now, and that's the one thing he misses. He's got so many administrative responsibilities. He doesn't get to coach as much as he used to, but not on defense, but with special teams.
Yeah, he said he thought he wanted to set a tone and send a message to his team that we were going to be good in special teams. You know, Tampa Bay, there's Jackie Harris heading to the locker room. There's a guy that's had a great first half for the Buccaneers. But Tampa Bay has never had a lead, or has not had a lead at the end of the first half this season on the road.
They fell to Green Bay in the opener 34-3. They lost last week to Detroit 21-6. When they last played here in 1993, they won it 17-10. They lead it by 3 right now. Here's Houston. My goodness. Como is stopped. Fine. Muy bien, thank you.
Yes. Buenos dias. Buenos noches.
And he goes out and gets the tee and gets a little airtime.
Nice little stride to him as well.
Soccer player in Hampton High School in Virginia.
Well, this has been not one of the better halves of offensive football you really see from the Denver Broncos. They have not scored their own touchdown. They scored defensively. And this Tampa Bay defense, you know, we said they were a pretty good defense. They played well in the first half. They created a turnover. We said their special teams had to play well. They did. And that's why we have a close ball game.
We've reached the end of the first half of play. And 2 turnovers have led to 10 points. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have shocked this sellout crowd at Mile High. They lead it over Denver 13-10.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of the Trooper, Rodeo, and the all-new Ombre pickup. Isuzu, equipment for real life. And by Steel Outdoor Power Tools, makers of the world's #1 selling brand of chainsaw.